Good afternoon, everyone. Maybe this isn't going to work out. Yeah, it doesn't seem to work out too good. Him being back farther and having my glasses on, so I guess I'll move up closer. Um, Hello, Ark Wild Man. Good to have you here. Hello, Tiny Farm Nuggets. Looks like Brett. Good to have you here. Okay, you deal with your work emergency, Brett. We'll probably be here for a little while. Hello, Russian Wind Mountain. Good to have you here. Hello, Deborah. Good to have you here. And get back to Brett's question here. Why did I choose today? Well, you really don't choose what day your birthday is. Whatever day you're born, that's your birthday every year. Yeah, I like messing with Brett. It's fun. Yeah, last year I did live on my birthday. Went over good, so I decided I'd do it again this year. No, you did. You didn't know that. I just told you. But I turned 52 today. If you want to get technical about it, it was at 12:30 Eastern time. That's the time that I was born. And Brett, could you let Deborah know one of the chickens is out? I think maybe not. Yeah, I yeah, I think one of the chickens is out. Make sure she can check on that. I guess it's just everyone saying hello. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I just don't want one of the dogs to get a hold of that. Yeah, I don't see any of the chickens now. They're not within my sight. Hey, just a minute, everyone. I want to go talk to Deborah. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Well, she found the chicken. Chicken's safely back in the run now. Okay, Brett. Sounds good. Yeah, I found out last night and getting get to the camera also. I don't know if it's my birthday or not, or if it's just something he's gonna give me, but I was told about that last night. Hello, J&B. Good to have you here. Thank you. Hello, the chicken. Good to have you here. Well, now we're gonna get to see Daisy today. Very friendly cat, likes to be close by, but she's not real big on being held. She's getting kind of squirmy already. Um, Hello, Brenda. Good to have you here. The chicken. My monetization got paused because I don't have my new license now, and they won't accept. Google won't accept my expired license for verification, and I wasn't able to get my license renewed before they paused the monetization. So right now everything's on hold. I've got 120 days to get the verification done. I'm hoping I'll get my new license this week, and then I can get the verification done, and then they'll release the hold, and my super chats to be back, and the memberships to be active again and stuff. In the meantime, I've got $60 that I was hoping to get next month. Now I won't be getting that until at least September, but at least I know it will be coming eventually. But in the meantime, there's no ads playing. They took all the ads off my channel. They took all the membership stuff away. I still have my members right now, but if their monthly payment comes due between now and whenever it's active again, then that will cancel their membership and they'll have to join again. So it's a mess. But once I get my new license, then I get the verification done, and then they will accept it, and then we'll be back to normal. I'm just going back a little bit here because I know I did miss a few comments. Hello, Brandon. I'm doing well. Thank you. Good to have you here. Hello, Kevin. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it can be a hassle getting monetized. They notified me that I need to do the verification with a valid ID, which I didn't have at the time. And I was hoping I would get my new license in time, but I didn't. So now they paused everything. But at least I have 120 days to get it done now before they eliminate everything. So at least I will get that money that's waiting for me. It's just be a while. Oh no, you're not the chicken. I'm having very hard time with Bensound because at the time I put the music on, it was perfectly fine. All you had to do was just mention that it was from Bensound, and you were fine. Then I started getting copyright claims for videos 4 or 5 months ago. So I went back to Bensound and looking things over. You now have to buy a very expensive subscription to use the music that you could use for free a few months ago. I think it's like $150 subscription that you have to buy. So every time I get a claim, now I have to go back and change out the song or 2 songs that I got the claim on. I almost think it's going to be easier just to demonetize as the claims come in for the 50 cents, dollar that I might get on those videos. I think I'd be better off just demonetizing them. Hello, Josh. Good to have you here. Well, yeah, I understand that you're working, not a problem. But I'm glad you stopped in. Yes, it has to be a government issued ID, a license or a non driver ID, passport, a couple other things, but it's got to be a government issued ID. And with you probably not being old enough to have a driver's license, you might want to go to DMV and get a non-driver ID until you're old enough to get a license. I did that with my son when he was 14. He wanted to go to a skate park where you had to have an ID to get in. And he didn't have any type of ID, so I got him non-driver ID. And because that's issued by the state that you live in, that's accepted just like a driver's license is for ID. Um, I don't think it was a share revenue option. I think maybe there is, but I'm thinking everything would go to Bensound. I'll have to check because I actually have another claim that I haven't dealt with yet. But they're all claims, so there's nothing against me. It's not a strike or anything. It's just I don't like someone else getting ad revenue from my video. Little Vase Place. Thank you. Good to have you here. Hello, Empty Nester Homestead. Good to have you here. Thank you. Hello, Jason. Good to see you again. Been a while. Thank you. Yeah, it seems like that's the game you got to play here to check, and you're always figuring out something. But overall, I'm very satisfied with YouTube. It's just sometimes certain things get a little frustrating that you got to do. Yes, watch hours can be tricky, that's for sure. Yes, I have heard that if you do have too many claims, that can work against you because they can look at it and say that, oh, you've got X amount of claims, so that makes you a risk for copyright problems. I was kind of worried about that because I'd claimed from two different lives and one or two videos, but my review went right through no problem. And it's after I got monetized when I started getting all these claims in from Bensound. Okay, Jason, not a problem. Hello, John Bailey. Thank you. Good to have you here. If I didn't miss anyone. Hello, Bud Files. Good to have you here. The most views I've ever had at any of my regular videos is 1,200. In fact, I was just looking at that this morning. My most viewed one was 1.2K, 1K, and then I think my third one was 800 and something. Yes, Brandon, I'm finding that out. It does get more nuts every day. And the thing is, things keep changing. So you can't even get things figured out and think you're all set because then something changes. Yes, chick, that's right. And I've got a lot of videos, so the percentage it had claims on was very, very low. But yeah, if you've got 180 claims on 300 videos, that's over 50%. That definitely would be an issue. Yes, if you're cold stream and there's something that causes a claim on the other channel, yeah, I can see that would affect you also. Hello, Rebecca. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Okay, Brenda. Thanks for stopping in. So I turned 52 today. And past year has been pretty good. Yeah, today I'm going to talk a little more about my history rather than what's going on currently. But if anyone has any questions about anything currently, go ahead and ask them. Well, it's been just over a year since I started my channel. And it's been a very successful year. I didn't really expect to get monetized within the first year, but I did. Very happy about that. I wish that could have got the verification done and they didn't end up pausing my monetization, but I'll work through that. Because luckily I've got 120 days before they'll cancel everything. So it looks like the worst thing's going to happen is if any of my members' monthly payment's going to come due while it's paused, that will cancel their membership. But hopefully they'll join again after that. And then, of course, I can't make any money during this period. But once I get the verification done, then I should be good. Well, sorry to hear last year has been awful in real life for you, the chicken. But I know you sure gained some subscribers. And when I first got connected with you, I had more subscribers than you, and you went right past me. Oh, thank you. I actually think I might be getting some more of these cups. And have an interest in anyone wanting to buy them, but I think I'm going to be getting some and give them away in the future. I'm just trying to be real careful with my money right now. Make sure I can stretch it as long as I can. Hello, man. Good to have you here. Yep, I know what you're saying, Brandon. But I don't have 1,050 active subscribers, but I've got a lot of active subscribers. I don't know what the number is. I'm sure I've got some people that never watch my channel. But I get, usually it's at least close to 200 views on every video. A lot of the videos are like 300-400 views. And I know not every person watches every video. So I probably have, I would say I probably have at least 500-600 that I would consider very active subscribers. Hello, Radio Man. Good to have you here. Thank you. And in the past year, I have hatched out some chicks. So I'm getting some experience with that for when I get my chick hatching business going next year. I'm actually very close to ordering some chicks now that are going to be the ones I'm going to be using in my chick hatching. So right now, anything I can hatch out is a mixed breed, barnyard mix, because Earl's a Barred Rock, and unfortunately, I don't have any Barred Rock hens right now. Well, that is one of the breeds I'm going to be getting. I had 2 Barred Rock chicks that I bought, but they both died when they were less than a week old. So I ended up not having any Barred Rock hens. But 2 breeds I'm definitely going to start with are Barred Rock and Buff Orpingtons. It's too bad you don't have more than that are active to chicken, but I know that happens. Hello, Caleb. Good to have you here. I actually was talking with Devin 2 or 3 days ago. The last chicken that I lost was right after I moved here, well, a couple weeks after I moved here. Buffy got out of the run, and that was the end of her. That's the only one since Lucky. I haven't seen any foxes around here. A lot of coyotes. But I definitely somehow have to get an electric fence to put around the chickens. Once I move from here, I'm borrowing an electric fence. But once I get on my own property, I'm going to have to get an electric fence. And hopefully that will keep them out. And I also want to put up some perimeter fencing. Ideally, I'd want to fence in the whole property, but that's probably unlikely. But at least get the yard fenced in. So then a coyote would have to get over that fence to get in the yard, and then have to get through the electric fence to get to the chickens. And I do want to get a dog, maybe not an actual livestock guardian dog, but at least a dog that would chase off a coyote or raccoon or anything that did get into the yard. Yeah, sometimes you can't care too much about it because as long as you're having fun, that's the main thing. Yeah, I enjoy your channel too, the chicken. I don't get to watch everything. Sometimes I'll play some of it and not able to really watch. That's getting so with a lot of channels. I'll start a video and then I'll be doing something else while it's playing in the background, trying to get dinner ready or feeding the cats or whatever. I don't have time to just sit in front of the computer like I would like. Hello, Ellie. Good to have you here. Thank you. If I don't get a Lyset Guardian dog, then I'm thinking maybe German Shepherd. Because I used to have a couple German Shepherds. They're a good dog. And they're going to be separated from the chickens. I mean, electric fence around the chickens. So it doesn't have to be something that's exceptionally good around chickens. I just don't want a dog that is going to try to go through the fence after the chickens. Or if one happens to fly over, that's just going to instantly go after them. Yes, I know what you're saying there, the chicken. That is discouraging. I had that happen in the beginning. I was spending all day trying to do a video between filming and editing. Luckily, I've got that down a lot quicker now. And I actually try to do a lot of my editing while I'm filming. So I don't have so much to go back through and cut out afterwards. And your likes are never going to be as high as your views. A lot of people, I don't know if they just forget to hit the thumbs up or if they just don't realize how important it is. You actually have some good advice in some of your videos, the chicken. So even though it's been a rough start to hatching the chicks, the first hatch that I did in the incubator, I had 5 of them hatch, 4 of them died. It was a brand new incubator, and I wasn't able to wash it out. I didn't have any running water at the time. I was having to buy my water. I'm thinking possibly just residual stuff from when it was made. Because, you know, anything plastic, they always say to wash out before using it. But that's the hatch that Lucky came from. And she was a great little pullet. But then she decided to go roost in the pig pen, and that was a fatal mistake. Well, I see Brett must have got the work emergency taken care of. Good to have you back. Yes, it is. My community is awesome. I've got some great subscribers. And my subscribers are more supportive than a lot of people's are. I kind of keep track of of lives that I go to and stuff. And sometimes I'll be on a live and I'll see where someone might have 3, 4, 5,000 subscribers and they have 20 people in their live. I have 20 people in my live right now. I always have at least in the teens, usually in the 20s. So when I go to one of these channels that's 3 times bigger than mine, 4 times bigger than mine, I see they have the same number in their lives, that makes me feel good because I got a higher percentage of my subscribers supporting me. Hello, Pink Sparkle. Thank you. It's good to have you here. And yes, the chicken has been at this longer than I have. He does have his subscribers up there, but he's not getting the support from his subscribers. And he seems like a great kid. So it would be nice if he could get some support. Hello, Sherry Lynn. Good to have you here. Thank you. Yes, J&B. I had no place to go. I did have one subscriber in northern Arkansas said I could move my camper to her property, but that would have meant that's why I ended up not bringing my camper here, because that would have meant getting quite a little work done on it. It didn't have any lights. Tail lights were actually gone. All the clearance lights were either disconnected or they were broke out. So it would have, and the wiring wasn't good to the lights. So what I had all wired up for lights again, I would have had to buy the lights, and then tires were real bad on it. I don't even know actually how the guy told it the few miles that he did to get it there when I bought it. Was it 4 years ago? And they just got worse since then. So it would I could have got some used tires for it, but still, they would have been $40, $50 a piece. And then I don't know about the hubs. What had at least been greased, might have needed new wheel bearings. So it would have been kind of costly. Plus, I didn't have the time to get roadworthy. So that really would have been out of the question. But Brett and Deborah did have this camper here they were using for storage. And they said that they'd get it cleaned out. And they had very little time to do it. Because less than a week later, I was here. And they had to go out and buy a bed to put in here for me, a couple fans. So definitely they were good to do that. Okay, I understand the time difference there. Not a problem. You have a good night. Check and see what else I missed here. Yeah, I know it's at the check-in. When I was in that live the other night when you had Micro Farmer there, you didn't have a lot of people watching. I got someone at the door. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Like I said, 2 packages from Amazon delivered. I didn't open them yet, but I believe one of them is cat food and the other one's paper towels. Because I know I had some cat food that was bought for me that wasn't delivered on Thursday when the rest of it was. And I had some paper towels bought for me too. So I believe that's what it is. And I'm not sure if the subscriber that bought that for me is in here or not, but if she is, thank you very much for that. Yes, J and B. It could be a movie. I just wish I could have done a better job on videoing on the way here, getting stuff packed up and low in the van and everything. But I just didn't have the time to do any filming whatsoever as we were packing. Yes, property has skyrocketed, that's for sure. Hello, Eddie. Good to have you here. Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate it. I'm no word on my license yet, Sherry Lynn. In fact, I checked this morning because they update all the previous day's business early in the morning. And that's usually by about 5 o'clock in the morning, everything's updated. I checked Saturday morning, nothing. But then I got thinking, well, maybe Friday's business doesn't get updated in the computer until Monday morning. So I checked this morning and still nothing. But I'm really expecting it to be done this week. I know they used to, and this was a few years ago, that could change, but they used to say allow 2 weeks for it to be renewed. Obviously, if I was in New York and could have went right to a DMV, then it would have been done that day. But unfortunately, I got to do it through the mail. Then it sits there for a while. But I figure Tuesday or Wednesday will be 2 weeks since they received it. I mailed it out 2 weeks ago this past Saturday. So hopefully. Thank you for posting that link, Ellie. I appreciate it. That reminds me, I forgot to put my banner up. There we go. No, Eddie, it wasn't Brett. It actually was Deborah. She was bringing little packages over for me. Yeah, thank you to Chicken for posting that link. For all the links that you posted. Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I guess I'm behind on comments. Hello, Des. Good to have you here. Thank you. Yeah, I've only sold one T-shirt since December. Right after I first put the Bonfire store up. I ain't even bought one for myself. I would like to do that. So when I go to YouTube functions, I can have a shirt with my channel name on it. Everything in my Bonfire store is priced exactly $2 over cost. So anything that's bought from there, I will make exactly $2 off it. Yeah, thanks, Sparkle. The cats are happy. I ran out of canned food. I was out of canned food for a while. I used up all the tuna fish I had. I was giving them some tuna fish. And then I was able to start giving the canned food again thanks to a couple subscribers. I'm actually gonna try to get it won't be an actual birthday cake, but I'm gonna try to get a cake tomorrow. Since I was doing the live today, I didn't want to do it today. But actually tomorrow I'm trying to get a ride into Waldron so I can. Well, one thing, a couple things I want to pick up at Dollar General, and then I'll go to Harps and see about getting a cake and a few things for a cookout, and then come back home and then have a cookout with Brett and Deborah. Am I going to do a live outside? Well, if it was a little cooler, I would do it outside. But right now, actually today is a very chilly day. It's only 95 right now. Yesterday was 101. But when it cools off, I will start doing lives outside again. Maybe not all of them, but some of them. I don't know if you're serious about that or if you're just kidding with Eddie about it, Brett, but if you are serious, thank you. And if you're kidding with him about it, how dare you? Hello, Tish. Good to have you here. Oh, yes, also, forgot to tell you, type in weather in your zip code, Nightbot will drop your weather. Oh, yeah, AC's got me spoiled. It actually wouldn't be terrible sitting outside in the shade, but it's really nice sitting here in front of the AC. Yeah, I'd love some carrot cake too. Hello, J. Marie. Good to have you here. Thank you. Well, no doubt the chicken. Oh, it does rain in the Northeast. Well, last summer, I know you were in a drought and some areas in New York were. It sure wasn't a drought where I was in New York last year. Well, thank you, Tish. I think it will be good. Yeah, it gets kind of different to say 95 is chilly. To the warmest day we had where I was in New York last year, some areas of the state got warmer, but where I was, Our warmest day of the summer was 94. We actually had a very chilly summer. We had a lot of days in the 70s. There was days didn't get out of the 60s. And of course, there was days that it was in the 80s and a few in the low 90s. Yeah, I didn't know if you had any way to bake or not, Brett, because I actually had an air fryer that I used to bake in. Couldn't be anything big. But if I had a small cake pan, I could bake a cake in there. I want to get another air fryer. That was one thing I really wanted to bring with me, but we couldn't fit it in. If I had one of the Emerald Lagasse, Emerald Lagasse, I know it's 360. I don't know if it was just 360 or if there was something else. I actually have a list of stuff started that I haven't made public yet on Amazon. Something that I want for the future, but I don't want to get overloaded with a lot of stuff right now that I'll have to move whenever I end up getting a permanent place. So I got some stuff on there that I'm waiting until I get situated to make that public. But that same air fryer that I had is on that list. Oh, it's hot where you are, Tish. You're in Texas, right? Wish Nightbot would put the state down instead of just the city. $95 on this side of the yard, Brett. I should get another thermometer and put it side by side with this to see what it reads. Because I'm consistently reading 2 degrees lower than the official reading. So I'm not sure if my thermometer reads 2 degrees low or if it's 2 degrees cooler here than the official reading is. Yeah, 50% humidity is not bad at all. Oh, come on. Cat, you jumped on me. Yeah, that feels like temperature. I hate it. It's not accurate. Not at all. Yeah, I want to do something on Saturday too. But I was actually going to send invitations out in June, around the middle of June, to give everyone well over a month to plan for it. But then I think, well, maybe I better wait till it's a little closer to make sure it's going to work out. And then when it got closer, then got notification my food stamps were ending and money was starting to run low. Well, I'm not going to be able to buy all the stuff I need for a party, so I better not do it. Yeah, October can be a very rainy month up that way. Hello, G. Casper. Good to have you here. Thank you. Sorry about that. Felt like I was going to sneeze, but then it didn't happen. It doesn't sound like that's too bad for Tallahassee, does. That sounds like fun, Brett. Good old fashioned barn party. Yeah, I'm not sure, J&B, if he used any of the stuff I left behind or not. I was hoping that it would work out so someone was going to be heading down this way within a couple months, because he said he was going to leave everything for a couple months, and if someone was coming down this way, they could pick it up and bring it to me. But that time's passed now. But yes, he was good to me. Definitely. My thermometer's in the shade. I can actually look out and see the sensor right from here, and it's in the shade. Yeah, it seems like whenever your birthday is, that there's some issue with the weather. Okay, Tish, thanks for being here. Yep, there you go, Brett. That's real music right there. Yes, I'm glad they will bring the piano too. And thanks for bringing it in that night. I didn't think you'd fit it through that 2 foot door, but you managed. Oh, don't you see the piano here, JB? Right behind me? Sit right over the fireplace. Hello, Gary. Good to have you here. Thank you. I got through all the comments. Well, I'm glad you are here, Gary. Yeah, now you see it. Hello, Bobby. Good to have you here. Thank you. Yeah, I just saw Deborah walk out towards the garden. Well, it's talking about hatching chicks in the incubator. Also had my first chick hatch out by a hen. Hello, Paula. Good to have you here. Thank you. That was the third time I had a hen go broody, but the first time a chick hatched out. So I'm hoping for more in the future. And when I get my Buff Orpington flock going, once they get grown up to the point that they start laying eggs, I'm actually going to put Lucy in with them. So hopefully she can teach them how to be broody, and I know she won't have any issue being in with younger chickens. She's very calm hen. The only thing is, don't mess with her chick. That's the only time I've ever seen her get aggressive with another chicken. Is when Alice and Rosie were getting too close and they were pecking at her chicken stuff, and she put them in their place. Other than that, I've never seen her go after another chicken. But they respect her now. Okay, Russian Wind Mountain, thank you. Appreciate you being here. And then, of course, there was the move from New York to Arkansas in the past year. And that was a very good move. So now I'm going to be able to actually get a place and really get situated now. So next year I can start in with hatching chicks. I'm hoping to be able to sell some some hatching eggs also. Actually, I wouldn't mind sell more hatching eggs than I hatch chicks. So if anyone's got any broody hens they want to put eggs under, or they have an incubator, then they can do the hatching themselves, and then that'll be easier on me. Right now, I only have the one small incubator, so I do have to get more incubators. But hopefully by next year I can work that out. Yes, J&B. Things have really improved in the last year, that's for sure. Yes, Gary, there's been a couple of different weathers in here I've seen where it's over 100. Hello, Homer. Good to have you here. Thank you. Um, yeah, and there's just everything that I've gotten from my subscribers in the past year. This shirt. Um, I've gotten a lot of clothing, and a lot of the things that I have now have come from my subscribers. Cat food, some of the chicken food, and the stuff that I've bought myself. I couldn't have done without the donations I've received from people. So, so I want to thank everyone. Well, I decided to do the party this way, Brett. And I'm hoping I can do the cookout with you and Deborah, and Chris is invited to that also tomorrow. But we'll do that a little bit later. I'm thinking like maybe 6, 7 o'clock when it's starting to cool off a little bit. Yes, pig food also. So that since I wasn't able to give them cash for rent, that went towards that. Hello, Bonnie Jean. Good to have you here. And thank you. There's just been so much stuff that's been bought for me. I would actually have to look back through on Amazon and Walmart to list off everything. Thank you, Bonnie Jean. I appreciate that. I think it will be amazing. Yeah, donuts are good, Gary, that's for sure. Yep. Actually, JB, I think that is not mistaken, third most viewed video that I've got. I was just looking at them this morning. It's right up there towards the top. I think it's third. But I know some of the biggest items that I've gotten from subscribers this past year was my chicken coop, the chicken run, generator, and I've had some large donations in my PayPal. Little pooch. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's good to have you here. Yep, I was able to buy those clippers because of the donations I got in my PayPal. And then there was the one that donated the trip to move me down here. She didn't want any reimbursement for gas. And I know that was a very expensive trip. Yeah, that's why my hair was so long when I first started on YouTube last year, because I didn't have any clippers. I needed to get a new pair. I got them. And then I got a right to take Superman to the vet last week, and the bill paid for that. That was a $107 bill. Yes, it was J&B. I have no idea how much it cost, but there was a full-size cargo van, and I know they don't get the best gas mileage, and especially not being loaded. Even though there wasn't anything in there exceptionally heavy, still, when you start adding everything together, there was some weight there. Well, Brett and Deborah know how much weight there was because they carried everything in for me that night. Little Mike, good to have you here. Thank you. The old hairy geezer. You got me described just about right there. Well, thank you to everyone that has given me anything this past year. I really appreciate it. I know there's several of you in the chat right now that have donated either cash or you sent me stuff off my Amazon or Walmart list. Thank you to all of you. And anyone that hasn't been able to do anything with cash or Amazon or Walmart, thank you for the support, watching my videos, watching my lives. It's all very much appreciated. Other words, what Gary's trying to say here. I'm at work and I keep having to leave the keyboard. What he's saying is I'm at work and I have to keep going getting a donut. He didn't want to say exactly what he's doing, but we all know. It's just a cop thing. They've got to have their donuts. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm missing anything in chat here. I hope I'm not, but I'm afraid I might have. Yes, that was another thing, J&B. The solar panels and everything that goes along with it from THAM 141. I would have to spend all day making a list. San Antonio's 101. So that doesn't make our 96 look so bad then. Or as the official reading, it was 97, probably 98 now. I'm going to check and see. Usually it's pretty consistent that the official reading's 2 degrees warmer than my thermometer reading. Okay, G. Casper, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Well, so now we only got a degree difference. Well, that makes out for yesterday, but one time it was 3 degrees different. But it seemed pretty consistent that it's 2 degrees. Well, I've got something to say about all this talk about food. If you guys keep going with it, I'm going to go off camera for a few minutes. I'm going to go get something to eat. No, I might go make a cup of coffee, but I won't get anything to eat right now. I can't guarantee that when I get done with this live, I won't go make something to eat immediately, but it's a lot easier for me to make something to eat now than it was when I first got here. Hello, Henry Leslie Vermont. Good to have you here. Thank you. When I first got here, I was just plugged in to the barn power, which is pretty limited because there's already quite a little stuff on that circuit. So if I was going to run the microwave or toaster or anything. I had to start my generator. But Brett put that other circuit in for my air conditioner. Now I can also run the microwave and toaster off from that. So now I don't have to go outside and start the generator. So having easier access to microwave and toaster, I make better use of them now. Yeah, fortunately, I don't have to be outside for long. It takes me about a half hour to take care of the chickens, and then I can do whenever I feel like it anyway. So I don't have to be out there in the middle of the afternoon when it's up around 100 degrees. But even if I am, it's not too bad being out there for just a half hour. Other than that, I've been spending time inside. Well, one thing I do like much better here about the weather is it's a lot lower humidity during the day than it is in New York. And in New York, if it's 85 degrees with the humidity, it just makes it unbearable. But here, rarely does it get above 50% humidity during the day. At night, it skyrockets. But it's cooler at night, so it's not as noticeable. Plus, I'm not outside much at night, anyways. We're supposed to be right up close to 100 all week, upper 90s, 100, 101. Yeah, that's what I mean to check, and you're the same there. I think it's the whole Northeast is very high humidity. I forgot to look what the humidity was here. 41%. So that's much better than humidity 70 some percent. But I'm looking forward to the fall here, winter. Although in New York we would have some nice weather in the fall. Not every year, but more times than not, we'd get some nasty weather early in the fall. It would drop down cold, be rainy and stuff. And then a lot of times in November, it would warm up, be sunny for a week, sometimes 2 weeks. And that was really nice. Sometimes it wouldn't happen, but quite often it would. But here, it sounds like the fall is really nice. Oh yes, Jamie, those floods were nasty up that way. I know not far from where I was living in New York, there was roads washing out. In fact, one of the main east-west roads that went through the county that I lived in, State Route 104, I heard that was closed due to a washout. I was reading on Facebook. I was really glad to be out of there after the stuff that's been going on up there this year. The floods worse than normal, and the smoke. Yeah, you got that right, J&B. Because I don't mind the hot weather. I worry about the chickens a little bit, but they seem to be doing okay. Well, I'd rather have 100 degrees during the summer than have to deal with 25 below during the winter and 3 feet of snow a week and a half before Thanksgiving. Because I don't deal good with the cold and snow anymore. Man, a lot of it is health reasons. When I was younger, it didn't bother me. But now that I'm not able to shovel the snow and the cold really bothers my body now. So I much rather have the 100 degrees during the summer. I just don't want it to get so hot that it's affecting the chickens. That's my only concern. And I was thinking about getting a splitter for this hole that's running into the front door, and then getting two hoses, one that can still run to the front door and another one that can run over the chickens. But it's so late in the summer now, and they've dealt with it this long, that I think they'll be okay. But hoses is one thing I do have on that list that I was telling about, that once I get situated somewheres, that I'm going to make that list public, because I don't have any hoses at all. That was another thing I had to leave behind. I only had one halfway decent hose, anyways. The other was a cheap $10. Now they're $15. But the time I bought them a couple of years ago, they were $10 Dollar General hoses. I think I had four of them, and then one that I bought from Walmart that was a halfway decent one. Yeah, that's right, to check in. It does snow in Arkansas, but nothing like New York. And down here, a 6-inch snowfall is major. Yeah, that's right. but just not miles deep. Yeah, I saw the videos of what it was in this area last year, last winter. And my understanding is that was one of the worst winters there ever was here. And that is a winter so mild you never see it in New York. And I'm reading back in the comments here some I missed when it went down on me. Hope you didn't have anything valuable in the cellar, Henry Leslie. Overall, we had a very mild winter last year. It was just, we got that 3 feet of snow a week and a half before Thanksgiving. Then it warmed up, and December, most of this, I shouldn't say all of December, most of December was beautiful. And then it would below zero just before Christmas. Then warmed up again. It was just up and down. And with my back issues, even 6 inches of snow is very hard for me to walk through. And, well, I had to shovel some last winter, but that was very difficult on me also. When I was a kid, I absolutely loved snow. And when I was in my 20s, I did. And the cold didn't bother me back then. But now it does. Well, that's fine with me if I never have to shovel snow here, because that's hard for me to do. Yeah, I've heard that Pacific Northwest is bad. A lot of damp, dreary days, and even if it's not raining hard, it's always misty. That doesn't sound like it would be any fun. Hello, Mr. Pumpkin 97. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Well, at least your freezer was insured. That's good. And by losing it that way, your insurance bought you a new one. If it just quit, it'd be up to you. So that might be one of those blessed in disguises that people are always talking about. Yep, I know about those early sunsets, that's for sure. I know back when my mom and dad were both alive, it was just before Christmas. My mom wanted to turn on the Christmas decorations that had lights in them, the outside lights and stuff, before 4 o'clock one day because it was a cloudy day and it was dark enough to turn the lights on before 4 o'clock. And my dad told her, "Nope, you don't turn those lights on until 4 o'clock." And I checked the difference between the sunrise and sunset between here in New York, and sunsets earlier here during the summer. Like I think like 20 minutes or so sooner, and in the morning the sun comes up about half hour 45 minutes later. But in the winter the sun sets later here and comes up earlier in the morning. So that's a decent trade-off. Hello, chef. Welcome and thank you. Yeah, every state has its beauty. Yeah, I love the mountains here, but we had mountains in New York too, just not right where I live. You would have to drive an hour to get a good view of the mountains. But here, all I gotta do is go out the front door to see the mountains. And once I get a vehicle, then I'll be able to do some more filming of the scenery around here. Oh no, there's a crazy guy coming this way. And of course, he can't hear me because he's not near his computer. So I can talk about bread all I want right now. And maybe I'll open the window so you actually can hear me. Too much work to open the window. I'll just tell him afterwards I was talking about him. Yeah, never been to Washington, but I've seen pictures of it. It is a beautiful state. And there he goes. He came over and turned on the water for the puppies to play in. They love their water. Hello, Austin. Welcome. Thank you. I think it's safe to assume you and your dad aren't going to stop in to see me on my birthday this year. It'd be quite a drive. It's a little over 1,300 miles down here. Yeah, that's what I figured. That's fine. Well, at least there, I've got a lot of friends that are within driving distance. We're back in New York. It was just a handful. So, so overall, it is better here. Oh yeah, I know what you mean about the cost of living, Henry Leslie. I visited Vermont several times, and I always loved it. In fact, I was going through Vermont on a bus one time, and there was a house with a for sale sign in front of it. And you don't know how tempting it was to call that phone number. It was a beautiful house, and it was sitting up on a hill, and across the road, beautiful view of mountains. It was a beautiful place. They had flowers planted on the slope in front of the house. Yep, that's right, Austin. Yeah, you and your dad helped me out several times. I appreciate that. But I've got more people down here that can help me out. Because if you guys were one of a very few there. Yeah, that was another thing. That was another thing about having to leave so quickly. I didn't get to say goodbye to anyone because my intention was to have a get together before I left and be able to get a few friends together and say goodbye to everyone. But unfortunately, it it was a matter of having to leave immediately, and within 8 days to find out that I had to leave right away, then I was gone. And during those 8 days, that was all packing and sorting through stuff, and I still didn't get all of it done. Hello, Richard. Good to have you here. Yeah, I know, Austin. Your dad sent me a message, and he said, well, I didn't know until Austin was telling me today that you moved. Yeah, I won't get into all the details again right now, but it was a very sudden move. But it's gonna work out much better here. If I wanted to get down to this area anyways, now I'm here getting settled into the area, even though I'm not in my permanent place yet. I'm still getting settled into the area, and I'll be able to start in with my chicken business next year. I won't be able to get into it real big next year because I'm going to miss the biggest time people want chicks in the spring of the year, late winter, early spring. But I'm going to get a few chicks here shortly. And then get them raised up. And I'll probably hatch some chicks out next year so I have bigger flocks. Because I think what I'm going to do is just get 4 pullets and a cockerel from 3 different breeds. What it looks like I'm going to do is Barred Rock, Black Astrolorp, and Buff Orpington. And that'll be enough to go hatch a few more out and expand the flocks a little bit. And then 8-9 months, something like that, after I get them, then they'll be old enough to start hatching them out. It's really not a good idea when they first start laying to hatch them, even though some people do. Then I'll have some chicks to sell. I'll have hatching eggs to sell. So if anyone in this area is going to be interested in any chicks next year, keep me in mind. I'm almost sure that it's going to be, I know Barred Rock and Buff Orpington for sure. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to get some Black Astrolorps too. The Black Astrolorps don't necessarily mix in good with other breeds, but by themselves, they're great. They're a very good egg layer. And they get along with other chickens that they've been with since they were chicks. I'm not having any issues with that at all. But they do not like other chickens being added in. I'm not exactly sure on that right now, Ark Wildman. If you're looking for some chicks this summer, I'll hatch out some barnyard mixes and sell them to you for probably $3 a chick. But if you want the purebreds, that'll be next year. And I've got an idea in my head, but I don't want to say it right now because I want to check and see if it's a fair price. Well, but definitely let me know what you're interested in. And that goes for anyone that's in the chat here. If you're in this area, if you want any barnyard mixes, Earl the Barred Rock, he's the only rooster I have right now. And then the hens are Buffalo Orpington, Black Astrolorp, and Rhode Island Red. So I'm not sure what they would be. I wasn't going to hack any more eggs out, but if there is anyone interested, I will hack some eggs out. Yep, that's right, JB. I'm going to start out small and then build up and see what's what. I I intend, if everything goes good, to maybe add some more breeds to that in the future, or I might just stick with those breeds. It depends on how things go and what I can do. If, like I was saying, with just a few chickens I have right now, it takes me half hour to feed and water them every day. That's right, Brett. It's amazing how much Jeff has grown. He started out, what was it, 5 years ago, with four wild chickens was left behind. Okay, thank you, Henry Leslie Vermont. I appreciate it. I don't ever envision myself getting as big as Jeff is. May happen, but I don't think that I'll ever get that big. Plus, another thing, I'm not going to have to try to live off from the chicken business either. I don't know how much my disability is going to be, but I'm hoping I'll be able to get that relatively soon. And then I'll have that. And then the chickens can just add to that a little bit. Yep. In fact, this morning or last night, I was just watching one of Jeff's old videos of when he was just starting out. A few days ago, I watched the one where he first moved there. Well, actually, the first day he was on the property after he bought it. He hadn't actually moved there yet. And then this morning, I think it was, I watched one where he actually moved there and he was showing around in the trailer and stuff. But it was like he said, It was what he could afford, $5,000, and it's his, something to start with. And he just had a lot of support, and it really worked out for him, and I'm glad that it did. Because Jeff is a really nice guy, and any of you that haven't met Jeff, I can tell you, I have met him in person. He came my first full day here. I got here about 10:30 at night on a Wednesday night, and that Thursday, he stopped in with blueberry pie and ice cream. And he's just as nice in person as he is in his videos. And then I saw him again at the Mid-America meetup, stood there and talked to him for about 5 minutes. And of course, we both were trying to get around and see people that day. But he's the same in person as he is on his videos. And I almost think I would have been scared to go in there, because can you imagine the animals that could have been in there? Yeah, you have to meet him sometime, Ark Wild Man. In fact, if things had worked out and I could have had my birthday party like I wanted to, you and Jeff were both going to be invited. And if you both could have made it, you would have met him. But things didn't work out for me to have it. But at some point, I am going to have a get together and invite all the local people. I'm just not sure when it's going to happen. Yeah, I wish I could get to those monthly lunch meetups. I'd love to go. And actually, Brett, I don't know if you watched Just Live that he did last night from Mike's house. Actually, they were doing it together, but it was on Jeff's channel. But Mike wants to, instead of doing the lunch meetup in October, he wants to do a get together at his house. He said he doesn't want to do it until October because of the weather. He's got it tentatively planned right now. Yes, that's what I was thinking about, J and B. That's actually going to be better than if I was able to have a birthday party here, because I would have only been able to have very few people and we will have had to crowd under a tree over on the edge of the property to get any shade. I've got a 10 by 16 tarp that I was thinking about putting up, but I don't have any way to get it up, no frame to put it on or anything. But if I can get settled somewhere, if the timing's right, I'll have housewarming party in the fall. That's a good idea, Brett. Actually, when I was thinking about getting the birthday party planned, you hadn't cleaned the barn out yet, but now that would be a perfect place. Yeah, I've met both Drew and Lindsay several times. Yeah, you got it cleaned up now, but when I was first talking about it, in fact, when I was talking to you about putting the tarp up, and you said we could have it over under the shade tree, that was before you got it cleaned up. But it probably worked out best not having that. Yeah, I got a little story to tell about Lindsay. I'm going to tell on her. Well, last time I went to Harps, I had used the bathroom. The first thing I did was I grabbed a cart because all the motorized scooters were all in use. So I grabbed the cart, which I'm okay being in the store of a cart. I can't go a long ways with it, but just to walk around maybe 15 minutes, I'm okay with a cart as long as I've got something to hang on to. I can't do that much walking with my cane. But if I've got my rollator or if I'm pushing a shopping cart, I'm okay for a little while. Well, anyway, they pushed the cart up to the bathroom. Went into the bathroom. Came back out. It couldn't have been more than 2 minutes I was in there. Came back out. My cart's gone. And here's Lindsay walking back up through. Oh, Peter, was that your car? Yeah, that was my car. I'm so sorry. I was just cleaning up a little bit. I'll go get it. And she went back and got it and brought it to me. And she apologized again. So the next time I go in there, if I see her, I'm going to have to tell her, don't be taking my cart from me. Yes, autumn is a good time around here for gatherings. Yep. Drew's another one. In person, just like he is on his videos. In fact, Drew stopped in here one day, asked me if I needed anything done with the camp or anything. And I told him the only thing is kind of be nice to have water in here, but the water heater's leaking, so that's got to be bypassed. And he said, well, measure up the size of the pipes and let me know what type of piping it is and stuff. And I'll get the fittings, and so I'll come and I'll do that for you. Well, soon after that, before I got the information to him, I started looking at properties and figured out that I'm not going to be here too long. Not sure. May still be a few months, but it won't be long, long time. I said, Drew is so busy, and he was going to buy these parts he needed out of his pocket. No, I'm doing fine with the hose hanging on the front door. I'm not even going to have him come and do that now. But the thing is, he offered to do it. He's willing to come and do it, buy the parts he needed to do it. But I'm just not going to have him do it now. Because I don't even have to go outside. I can stand right at the front door and get water. So I'm definitely in better shape than I've been for the last few years. Yeah, hopefully you can get a chance to meet Jeff and Drew. And I don't know if you've ever met Dog Man or not, but hopefully you get a chance to meet everyone, Ark Wild Man. Well, Brett, you're more social with your own type. That's why there's UFOs landing here every night. And we know you don't have to hide it. Everyone knows you're an alien. And all these UFOs that we're seeing around here, they're coming to visit you. Hello, AR Gun 1776. Good to have you here. Yeah, that's another thing, Brett, is not only is the water more convenient, plus there was a lot of times I didn't even have it back in New York. The holes would be turned off. But even when I did have water, it wasn't the best water. And I wouldn't even really call it a well. It was, I really think it was more rainwater than it was actually groundwater. It had a funny flavor to it. Yeah, I didn't drink too much of the water there. Yes, Dogman is exceptional. Yeah, that's right, J and B. Actually, Brett is, maybe I'm giving out too much information here, but Brett is an alien that they have stationed here to keep tabs on what's going on planet Earth. And then they just have to come and check in with them. And he lets them know how things are going here and stuff. Yeah, that's right, Brett. You were calling me an alien first. I'm just returning the favor. I'd like to give everyone a good welcome in here. Hello, Keto Homestead with Jess. Welcome. Thank you. I kind of like doing lives at different times like this. Well, today this just seemed like the best time to fit it in. But I'm getting people in the chat here that I haven't seen before. And same thing happened with my midweek live. When I started doing that, I was getting people that couldn't make my Sunday live. I want to thank everyone that came to wish me a happy birthday. It's really appreciated. Well, I talked a little bit about what's happened the past year. Actually, I have talked a little bit about the future. But thank you for that reminder about the thumbs up, JNB. That really helps me out. A little bit about the future. In addition to the chicks, I also want to try some gardening. I've got some seeds that I want to give away, so I've got some seeds to get started with. I wasn't able to do it this year. Obviously, with moving in May, and then not knowing how long it'll be until my next move, I'm not going to do anything this year at all. But next year, I want to do some type of gardening. And no matter what anyone says, it cannot be in the ground because I'm not going to be able to tend to that. It's going to have to be either raised beds or container gardening. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. It's going to depend on what I can get my hands on. If I can get some lumber to build raised beds with, then I'll probably go with raised beds. If I can come up with a bunch of 5-gallon buckets or something similar, I'll do some container gardening. But we'll see. We'll have to see what works out there. Yeah, go ahead and drop anyone's link that you want. I know I got quite a few moderators in here. I can't add any right now because I don't have a YouTube tab open. But I can't do that from StreamYard. And thank you for the birthday wish, Peter Riley. I appreciate it. If anyone wants to drop your link, you can type in King and Nightbot will drop your link. You can also type in weather in your zip code. And Nightbot will tell you the weather. Now we see what night that says the weather is now. I'm reading 96 degrees. Night that saying 97. Humidity of 41%. It's not too bad. Well, I'm just going to take a short little break here. I'm going to be right back in just a minute or two. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Also, I forgot to say, if anyone wants to come up on panel, let me know and I'll post the link. I haven't been putting the link up past few lives because I know there's been a lot of issues. So I think I would rather just have someone say they want the link and then I'll put the link up. No, not over yet, Brett. I just had to step away for a minute. I don't I don't like having to deal with problems. So that's why I'm trying to avoid any problems with someone coming up on panel that shouldn't be. There you go, Fluffy. Yeah, Fluffy almost walked across the keyboard. She hasn't learned yet that she can't be on the keyboard. She's getting better though. And here's Fluffy. And when I went to reach for her, and she came back and walked in front of my laptop. So she's definitely learning, but sometimes she forgets. She's such a sweet kitten. Yeah, if anyone wants to drop your link, just type King in chat and Nightbot will drop your link for you. I know there's some channels in here that I've never seen in here before, so I'm sure there's some people here that aren't connected. So if you drop your links, then everyone can check each other out and see if it's a channel for you to subscribe to. I was talking about, I do want to do some gardening. I don't know how big I'll get into it. There's a few things I want to grow. I would like to be able to put some vegetables in the freezer. Maybe can some. I do want to do some canning for a couple reasons. One reason is you don't need to use electricity to freeze stuff if you can it. And the other thing is, if the power goes out and you got everything frozen, then your only option is to either run a generator until the power comes back on, or you lose everything that's in the freezer. But if it's canned, then you don't have to worry about that. So I think that I'm going to try to lean a little more towards canning in the future. Yes, that's another thing, J&B. You don't have to deal with the rocks. I will have to find some place to get some soil from. But I'm sure there's somewhere that you can get that from. I know in New York you could always get from when they cut the shoulders on the roads, you could get that dirt. That was very good for gardening. And if you had a low spot in your yard or whatever, I got a lot of that over the years. But I'm sure there's not as much of that available here, because a lot of it, the reason that there was so much of it in New York is from the sand that they put on the roads during the winter. And it wouldn't take many years that the shoulder of the road would be higher than the road. And then they would have to cut the shoulder so water would drain off the roads. There'd be a lot of sod in it. But what you did, just let it sit for a year, and then all the sod that was down underneath, that would all rot down into good soil. And all you have to do is just break through what had sodded over on the outside. And once you got into it, that soil was beautiful. Yes, there's just no way I can't get down on the ground, and because I'd never get back up, and I can't bend over for any length of time at all. I have trouble just bending over to pick something up off the ground. So definitely definitely got to be some type of raised beds. Yes, that sounds like a good mixture there, Ark Wild Man. I have to see what I can do about getting something like that. But if things do happen to go well, and if I'm in the right spot, I may put a stand beside the road and see if I can sell any vegetables on the roadside. And of course, nothing's going to go to waste because anything I don't use for myself or that I'm able to sell, the chicken to eat. Like when I was growing up, especially in the fall of the year, there'd be some in the summer we went along, but especially in the fall of the year when my mom cleaned her garden out, take all the pull the plants out, and then there usually be extra cucumbers and zucchinis and stuff because they would produce like crazy. And take all that into the pasture, and the cows loved it. Yet that'd be a good option, Brett. I wish there was a weekly farmers market close by. Well, once a month is better than nothing. If everything goes good, I will be taking stuff to that. Plus, I not only vegetables, I could take eggs to that also. If anyone wanted to buy any hacking eggs, and I could take eggs for eating too. Because actually, what I'm planning on doing is the chickens I have now, since they're mixed breed, which some people might want barnyard mix, and that'd be fine. But I'm planning on mainly using the chickens I have now just for eggs to eat, and then I'll have my other chickens that will be for hatching eggs. And what I could say is take eggs there, and then I can let people know, have a sign, whatever, that I've got chicks also. So that would work out good for me. It's too bad there's not some springs here on the property. Because my father dug a pond for the cows to drink out of years ago, many years ago. And that would get fed from one very good spring that had water in it year round. That spring never dried up. And that pond was there for years and years and years. The last I knew, it was getting filled in with mud and stuff. It just needed to be dug out again. Which actually, he had it done when I was a kid. He had it dug out then. Because he originally dug it back in the 50s or 60s. And then in the 80s, it was starting to get filled in, so he dug it out again. And the last I knew, it was getting filled in again. But if it was dug out, there'd still be a pond there. Maybe it has been now, I don't know. Hello, Ann Gardner. Good to have you here. Thank you. Yeah, I've had a good time here on the live. This was my big thing for today. Well, you weren't clear enough with the goats, Brett. You told them to clear everything out back, so they were clearing everything. You should have pointed out the pumpkin plants to them. Oh, give them time. They'll get into the main garden. No doubt. Well, I do talk to the goats. Don't know what I'm saying, but well, that's why you need to work on the good fencing in the cooler months, and then you have it all set for the summer. I know I'm going to need some good fencing for my chickens. I don't want any dogs getting to them. Well, of course, Brett. They think you're spending all that time working on those plants just for them. Well, at least they're not eating the barn. The goat I had when I was a kid, when he was in the barn, he was right by one of the main support posts on the side of the barn, and he would never have eaten through the whole thing because that was probably it was a I would say a 10 by 10 or 12 by 12. It was a lot bigger than it needed to be. But anyways, he was chewing on that. He only chewed into it an inch or so. And my father, he was always screaming, he's eating the barn. The barn's gonna fall down. He keeps eating that. Well, he never would have eaten through far enough to make the barn structurally unsound, but he loved to chew on that. And it didn't matter if he was outside all day. As soon as he came in, he'd start chewing on the wood again. Oh, yeah, they're proud of anything they do. Now, do you see why Jeff doesn't want goats? I don't know if you saw Jeff's video. I think it was yesterday. He was explaining why he doesn't want goats, why goats won't work out for him and stuff. And please stop suggesting to him they need goats. So next time you see him, suggest that he gets goats. I know that's what I'm going to do the next time I see him. Hey, Jeff, I think you should get some goats to see what he's got to say. Okay, thank you, JNB. I appreciate you being here. Well, I've been on here 2 hours and 46 minutes. I want to thank everyone for coming to help me celebrate my birthday. I think it's about time to end this now. I'll have a live Wednesday evening at 10 o'clock Central. And if everything goes good, I'll have a video coming out tomorrow. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Yes, Brett, it's my day of birth. You know that. Have a good one, Radio Man.